Hello everyone, today we will look at the route map and path of train Silver 7. First, let's look at the first British railway route map called the Airedale and Wharfedale Network, Leeds and Bradford to Skipton and Ilkley. This route starts in Leeds. Let's look at the route map. After passing Crystal Forge, it reaches to Bradford Foster Square. Near Appley Bridge, one branch branches off to Ilkley and the other goes to Skipton. Skipton is the last electrified station on this line to Carlisle. That is to say, after Skipton, the station to Carlisle, including to Comfort, is not electrified. Now let's look at the route path. Leeds was electrified in 1989. The line passed through Shrewsbury and continues on. Shrewsbury is a triangle station and it is the only way to enter Bradford Foster Square. Bradford Foster Square was also electrified in 1994. It is served by the London North Eastern Railway's A01 trains. Skipton is also a limit service terminus on one of the LNER branch line. Skipton has short-distance trains to Leeds, usually using Class 333 or Class 331 trains, which are included in this DLC map. Class 333 requires an additional purchase. We can see that after Skipton to the west, the line is no longer electrified. Ilkley was electrified in 1995 and also has regular distance trains to Leeds. Now let's look at the second line from Miami Airport to Boca Raton. First, let's look at the route path. It starts from Miami Airport Station, passing through the Metro North transfer, but it doesn't enter Miami Central Station. That is because Miami Station is a terminus and doesn't connect to the airport tracks. Then we arrive at Boca Raton. The station on the east side is the Bright Line. The Bright Line and Tri Line are different. Some Bright Line trains are diesel multiple units, meaning diesel locomotives at both ends and carriages in the middle. However, Tri Rails use BL36PH and F40PH3C diesel locomotive paired with modern road and transit. Their final destinations are also different. The Tri-Rail destination is the Magnolia Park, but the Bright Line's destination is the Taipei Railway Station. So now let's look at the third map, Nuremberg to Würzburg. Let's first check which line it belongs to. As shown in PDF document, it belongs to RE10 and S6. The trains used are BR442, BR412, BR440, and BR193. Of course, BR412 requires an additional ticket. In Nuremberg, you can use the line jump to access the Nuremberg to Ingolstadt route map. Now let's look at the route path now. It passed through Firth, Hauptbahnhof, and Neustadt, Aisch, Bahnhof. The S6 line terminates at Neustadt Aisch Bahnhof. A6 also runs from here to Steinich, B. Rothenburg, Odin Tauber. Finally, the lines end at Würzburg railway station, where you can use the line jump to access the castle to Würzburg route map. Now that we have covered the three main lines, let's look at the others. Since there will be many DLCs coming up, I will focus on a few that I am personally interested in. The first line is the familiar Tadami Line. It actually appeared in the monthly development roadmap during Train Silver 4, then was delayed until Train Silver 5. But a year later, it still hasn't appeared on Train Silver 5 map. It was originally scheduled for release on July the 13th of this year, but due to performance issue, it was ultimately postponed to September 29th, 2 months later than planned. Let's look at the route path now. It runs from Azu Wakamatsu to Tadami railway station. However, the actual terminus of the Tadami line is Koi station. It used Keyhole 40 series diesel multiple units, although those were all retired in July 2020 year. Now it uses Keyhole E120 and Keyhole E110 series trains. Let's look at the route. It runs from Aizu Wakamatsu via Aizu Takada, Aizu Yenezu, Aizu Kawaguchi, and finally reach Tadami railway station. The second route map is from Birmingham to Shrewsbury, which belongs to the West Midland Railway. While I don't know what trains the map will show, I can guess most likely class 196. So let's look at the map. It passed through Darlaston and Wolverhampton, finally reaching to Shrewsbury. The stops are based on my guess from the latest timetable. And the third line is from Perth on the Great Western Railway to Newquay. Let's look at the routes. It runs from Perth via Boogle and Queentree Downs. Finally reach Newquay. It used Class 150 trains. At Perth Station, we can see Great Western Railway Class A00 or Class A02 trains running from Penzance to Paddington or Paddington to Penzance. The fourth line comes from the Bergen branch of Andre Transit, departing from Hoboken and heading to Suffern or Warwick. So we can look at the map first. Hoboken and Suffern. From Suffern to Port Jervis. It is released and maintained by Metropolitan Northern Railway. So let's look at the route path now. It passed through Chicago's Junction, Garfield, and Warwick. Finally arrived at Suffern. The locomotive used are F40PH3C, GP40PH2, ALP45DP, and PL42AC with common V control cars. The fifth line comes from Amsterdam Central on Dutch Railway to Den Haag, passing through Woolston, Harm, and Amsterdam Sloterdijk. So we can look at the route path now. From Den Haag Central via Woolston, Harmony, Amsterdam Sloterdijk, finally reach Amsterdam Central Station. The trains used are currently unknown. Now we can look at the route map now. The sixth line comes from the Sheerness branch of Southeastern Railway, starting from Sittingbourne and end in Sheerness-on-Sea, passing through Camsley, Swale, Queensborough. The train used are Class 466. This is the specific route of the Sheerness branch. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you for your watching.